All right, good morning, everyone. It's such an honor to be here today with all of you for the Flutter Firebase Festival. I'm Francis, and I lead the Firebase team.
And I'm Michael. I lead product for Dart and Flutter.
You know, the last time we brought the Firebase team to Prague was back in 2018 for the Firebase Summit. We've come a long way since then, and I'm so excited to be back here in Prague. And in particular, having this honor to help kick off F3, where we're not getting together with only the Firebase community or the Flutter community individually, but together in one festival. And it's so amazing to feel the energy here in this room. Now, as some of you may know, at Google, we invest in building a variety of developer platforms and offerings. And collectively, our mission is to help millions of developers worldwide succeed in creating the highest quality, most trustworthy, and broadly accessible experience to your users everywhere.
We believe that Flutter and Firebase play a key role in this mission by providing developers with the tools and services you need at each stage of the development process and every part of the development stack. But this wouldn't be possible without the amazing growing community of Flutter and Firebase developers. It is your constant feedback and support and contributions that make our products better every day. So whether you are a new developer or you've been with us since the start, thank you.
And again, huge thank you to Invertase for hosting this event. Woo! So as Puff just mentioned, over the next 2 days, there are over 30 talks across a wide range of topics here in this building, so you can all get together to meet one another, have a good time, and mingle with the broader community as well.
Now, we've done a bunch of talks over the past few years, but this talk is special. Isn't that true, Francis?
Yes, absolutely. This is the first time where we've had our Firebase and Flutter team together to have a keynote.
Yeah, so it's about time that we dedicated an entire event to these two platforms and bringing them together, and also bringing these communities together, closer together. We started the collaboration between the Flutter and Firebase team more than 7 years ago with the goal of enabling a step change in productivity for developers building apps across a wide range of platforms. There are now millions of developers across Flutter and Firebase, and often these developers use them together. More than half of all surveyed Flutter developers indicate that they also use Firebase. So you're not alone, you're actually the majority. And that's why we're so excited to have everyone here together. Our goal as Flutter is to fundamentally change what it means to develop an app. Customers today expect apps across a wide range of platforms and devices. This becomes ingrained into the very fabric of the organization, like having a separate Android and iOS team. With Flutter, the focus is on what you want to build. You can structure your teams in terms of the functionality of your app. You can deliver to all those customers concurrently. And after launch, you have a single, consistent product to market, monitor, and support. We are flattered that so many of you have chosen Flutter and have taken part in our journey. Over the past few years, we've seen several metrics show Flutter taking a clear lead among multi-platform frameworks. For example, Stack Overflow trends showing Flutter overtake React Native. Oh, and the JetBrains survey showing Flutter taking a lead amongst all multi-platform frameworks. With Flutter, multi-platform doesn't mean lowest common denominator. For example, we recently collaborated with the Android team on supporting large screen devices, such as the new Pixel Fold or the new Pixel tablet. We made updates to the Flutter framework and documentation and improved and upgraded our showcase app, Wondrous, and you can check out Wonderous in your app store.
And of course, to have your app work across multi-platforms and devices, it's essential that it's connected to the cloud. And that's why we're working hard to bring Firebase and Flutter and make them work better together. Now, for Firebase, we've started our journey with the mission of helping app developers succeed. And we do this by providing a platform of cloud services and tools to help you across the app lifecycle. So whether that's in helping you build your app faster with common backend services like authentication or databases, or helping you improve your app quality with tools like Crashlytics and TestLab, or helping you engage your users more effectively through remote config and cloud messaging. We're here to support you. And over the years, we've continued to evolve Firebase with constant updates. In fact, we release over 200 updates every year. And just in the last year alone, for the Flutter Flyer SDK, we had made over 44 releases. So as an example, we've invested in improving our infrastructure so that we can improve our releases and get updates to you faster. So more specifically, for the Flutter and Firebase SDK, now aligns with the code generation pattern that the Flutter team themselves use for their own plugins. So this means more type safety and less error-prone client code for you. And again, that means we get to release our updates to you faster. Now, another example of how we're making Firebase work better with Flutter is through improvements of the Firebase UI, which is a client library that lets you quickly drop in common UI elements into your app. So as an example, you can add in pre-built login flow to, again, make it easier for you to build faster and easier. And one of my favorite examples from last year as well is the updates to our Crashlytics deobfuscation functionalities, specifically for iOS. Now, with the latest Crashlytics plugin, you now get automatically uploaded debug symbol files, which means it makes your bug reports easier to use, which helps you fix those bugs faster too. Now, as you can see, we're working hard to bring Firebase and Flutter to work better together so that you can build more beautiful apps even faster. And we're excited to share all the work that we've been doing, but instead of just talking about them, this is a developer conference, right? So Michael, why don't we do some coding to show what we've been working on?
All right. So Flutter and Firebase play a key role in reducing the modern complexities of developing apps for the many, many platforms your customers care about. But it can still feel like navigating an endless sea of complexity, having to manage all these devices when doing a multi-plat demo. So let me get my Android phone and my Puff. Did you take my cables again? Did we charge our devices? This is why we're introducing Project IDX. IDX will allow you to do your multiplat development in a browser. You don't need to go ahead and install anything. You can dive right into coding, and all your devices will be ready. IDX is based on Visual Studio Code open source and has our Flutter and Firebase plugins pre-installed, so you'll get a full developer experience. Let's switch over to the demo machine. All right, so here we have IDX running in a browser, and we are currently looking at the standard counter app. Yay. Let's click around a bit. We can move over to iOS, and we can move over to the web. I should mention I'm using a preview version, so you may not see all the same features yourself right now. On Android and the web, it will give you the same full developer experience you're used to when running locally. On iOS currently, we require full rebuilds, but it's still great for being able to see what your app looks like on iOS without needing an iOS device. You may also notice that these counters seem to behave a bit differently. So let's split this, and we'll go here. you can see they're actually synchronized. This is powered by Firestore, of course, and real-time updates. And let's take a look at how easy that is to do. So let me make this a little bit bigger. It's really, really easy. In the standard counter app, you go ahead and do a bit of initialization. So here in init state, we call init Firebase. We will read out a document from the store. And the next thing we need to do is set up an event listener. So we'll add that listener, giving us a callback. And then inside the callback, we just call Flutter set state and go ahead and update the counter with the value we got back from the document. That's actually pretty easy. Then whenever the plus and minus buttons are clicked, we get callbacks here, and we call increment counter. It reads out the same Firebase document. If that is a null, we go ahead and update the counter with the new value that we got from the fields. And if it's null, it's because we're doing a reset, and we'll put it back to 0. It's looking a bit plain right now, though, and I think my colleagues said they were hacking on this on the way over here. So let's do a git pull. This is fully integrated, of course, like Visual Studio usually is. So we'll do the git pull. We will do a hot reload, and we will go back to Android. Oh my God, they may have gone a bit overboard on the design here. I personally love that you can create all kinds of interesting designs with Flutter. It also looks like in the process they updated to Material Design 3, so we're getting the new app top bar. We're getting the nice new, more squarish floating action buttons. We have a nice grid in the background. And another thing I really like about Flutter is that you can make it as custom as you want to. So let's go ahead and try and reset. It looks like here we are getting the new Material 3, Android look and feel, alert dialog. But if we hop over to the web, the browser knows I'm running on a MacBook, so we should get a slightly different experience. And yes, here we get the Apple look and feel. This was just a quick overview of IDX. For more details, check out the talk, Build Your First Cross-Platform App in Flutter with Firebase, where Rosario will run a workshop on building an app without needing to install any tools ahead of time. And also, Noe and Eric will do the talk, Live Coding a Flutter App with Just a Browser, where they will attempt to build a chat app in just 20 minutes. We also have Prakar from the IDX team present at the conference, and he's ready to take feedback and answer any questions you may have. So head over to the Google community booth to talk to him. But as nice as this app looks, functionality-wise, it is a little bit simplistic. So how about, Francis, maybe we do some AI coding?
Yes, let's do it. Now, building an app can be hard and complex, as I'm sure many of you have experienced. As a developer, you have a lot to worry about, from managing your own UI, to worrying about your own backend, to nowadays, keeping up with the latest in AI too. And it could be a struggle to even get your app off the ground when you're facing with this increasing ever complexity. Well, our goal is to help you do a lot of the heavy lifting so that you can focus more of your energy in making your app beautiful. And this is where Firebase extensions come in. Now, Firebase extensions provide pre-packaged solutions that you can quickly deploy. And we have an entire directory of them on extensions.dev. Let's go over here to take a look. All right. So here is extensions.dev, where it brings you a directory of extensions, which gives you access to the best of third-party APIs, and in turn, saving you the need to having to manually code and integrate with all the functionalities. You can just grab a pre-configured package and add them to your app. So let's say you want to integrate with search. We have an extension for that. Or you want to send a notification with email. We have an extension for that too. And yes, if you're looking to integrate AI into your app, we have extensions for that as well. So let's check this out. Let's check out this language tasks with PaLM API. So as some of you may know, the PaLM API is an API that gives you access to Google's LLM, or large language model, which performs natural language processing tasks. So I'm going to switch over to IDX. Now, On my way here, I thought of an idea of building my own chat app to help coordinate all the social activities here with some of the fellow Googlers attending F3. And so here, I built this app, and I can ask, which sessions should I attend at F3, even with some typo? That's okay. Let's see. Okay. So I was very excited to build this app, but it turns out none of my colleagues want to chat with this pointy-haired manager. So I have nobody to chat with, but luckily, I can build an AI bot to chat with. So coming back here to this extensions, I'm going to go ahead and install this right here into my Firebase project. And now, again, the extension gives you a pre-configured package of some of the integration. And what this specific integration does is it integrates with Firestore, functions, and the POM API. Whenever we write an update to Firestore, it triggers an event which runs a cloud function, and then that in turn invokes the POM API. It gets the response back, it writes it back into Firestore, which in turn pushes the update in real time back to the client. So here, this extension packages all of those integrations automatically, and I'm just going to go through the installation step, accept the ID, and I'm going to be okay with the billing on my cloud resources. And here, it shows that it's integrated with the POM API, with Vertex AI, cloud functions. Oh, and look, it also helps me store my API key securely with the Cloud Secret Manager as well. And I'm going to go on, and this access looks good. It gives the extension access to some of my cloud resources. And now I can type in some parameters. So this is connected to Firestore. So I'm going to specify a path here for my collection. I'll call it chats. And now, since I'm looking to build an AI bot to help me look for sessions in F3, I can provide a prompt, which I had here, some data that just injects some context into the AI. But what this is just the F3 sessions in CSV format. So what you find on the f3.events webpage, coming back here, I want to provide the prompt so the AI also has some specific context. And then we are here in Europe. So the cloud function, maybe I'll pick an instance here as well. Let's say Frankfurt. And then I'm going to pick the LLM right here. And then I think the rest of the parameters are optional, and I can just keep them with the default. Okay, they look good. And I can just install this extension. So here it is, just a few clicks. Now it's deploying, and it's going to take a few minutes for this to get deployed. So just to continue moving things forward, I had pre-installed an extension that's ready to go. So coming back to IDX, so here was the chat. Now this was the collection that I'm installing the extension. I'm going to point it to a different collection called messages, which is where the pre-installed extension was pointing at. Now, of course, with IDX, it does an automatic restart whenever I make an update for my web app. And now, let's see what happens. You know this is a live demo, right?
Yeah. It was really fast yesterday.
Yeah, it's a little jet-lagged like I am, but that's okay.
Maybe Puff can tell a joke.
Okay, there we go. Okay, it's going. Okay. So I'm going to ask it the same question. Now I have an AI bot behind this. And let's see what happens. Which sessions should I attend at F3? Let's see any good recommendations that come up here. All right, there we go. We got a list of talks that I got recommendations, and now I even get a better response than some of my Googler colleagues. Well, as you can see, it's now easier than ever to build with Firebase and integrate with third-party APIs into your app. And in this instance, I was able to enhance my app with AI capabilities without needing to do manual integration or worry about my own AI infrastructure. And we've just created a chatbot for F3. So extensions aren't just from Google. We also have extensions from other platform providers and publishers, like Rowi and RevenueCat. In fact, you can build an extension as well. That's right. Whether you're a platform provider that are looking to make it easier for developers to access your API, or let's say you want to share a common problem that you've solved with the world, you can go ahead and register to become an extension publisher right at extensions.dev. And we look forward to see what you build here as well. Now, taking a step back, we love seeing how the developer community uses Flutter and Firebase to build a rich ecosystem of solutions that complements our core offerings. Now, we've just shown you some Firebase extensions with API providers that are part of the ecosystem. In addition to that, we also have a broad ecosystem of developer tool providers as well, and we love working with them. Here are some highlights. Flutterflow is a company that brings intuitive visual interfaces to teams of all sizes and allows them to build applications 10 times faster by merging the simplicity of drag and drop design with the power of custom Flutter code. And here is a short clip. It's quite impressive to see what the Flutterflow team has built. And a fun fact is that Flutterflow itself is built with Flutter and uses Firebase for some of its backend components as well. Flutterflow also makes it easy to help you integrate Firebase into your apps with step-by-step instructions on integrating Firebase Auth, Firestore, and more. So check it out. Now, we'd also like to highlight RevenueCat. Just as Firebase makes it easy to provide common components for your backend, RevenueCat makes building, analyzing, and growing in-app subscriptions easy. We also have a short clip from them.
Managing subscriptions in your mobile app can be overwhelming. Keeping up with endless App Store requirements, edge cases, and updates is a never-ending chore. And forget about tracking subscribers or running pricing tests across all platforms. With RevenueCat, the world's best subscription apps are growing faster and moving quicker than ever before. Want to learn more? Try it for free today by visiting RevenueCat.com. In-app subscriptions made easy.
And RevenueCat also has a Firebase extension, making it even easier to integrate into your project. So those are some example partners in our community. And some of them are here at F3 as well, and they will be out there in the expo area. So be sure to check them out.
We've had feedback from prospective Flutter customers that they don't always feel like they have enough Flutter expertise to get started. To help them, we're happy to introduce the Flutter Consultants Directory. This will help you find consultants that have a verified record of successful Flutter projects, a sufficient number of skilled staff on hand, and a dedication to growing the Flutter community. So whether you need assistance to build out a proof of concept or redesign an existing application, check out the directory on flutter.dev. Flutter and Firebase are also surrounded by vibrant communities. You can always connect with your local Google developer group or Flutter community to find someone to talk to and grow with. And we are pleased to have multiple community groups with us here today. So if you're willing and able, I would like to ask members of these communities or any Google developer experts to please stand up. Don't be shy. Yes. Thank you very much. If you want to learn more about these communities and opportunities, I encourage you to find some of these team members the next few days and have a chat. With all that we've seen today, we know that Flutter and Firebase are a wonderful match with their seamless integration, broad platform support, and the way that they make difficult challenges easy. Flutter helps you focus on what you want to build, what user experiences you want to enable. You can prioritize the features that make your product compelling. You can quickly iterate and create value for all possible users on all platforms. With Firebase, we support you across all phases of the development lifecycle. You can build the apps your users love faster. And to ensure your apps continue success, you can raise the quality bar and more deeply engage with your users. Flutter and Firebase work better together, no matter what device your customers are using. That's all we have time for today. We truly could not do this without the tremendous community support. So thank you all for being a huge part of what makes Flutter and Firebase special. And thank you again to Invertase for hosting this event. Have a great F3. We'll see you on the floor.